Hey guys, welcome back. Houston Math Prep here. In this video, we're going to take a look at another example of a piecewise function, getting some evaluation done with it, and also looking at how to graph it. So this particular h of x piecewise function is defined in three separate pieces. So we have one piece that is defining what happens when x is less than or equal to -2. We have another piece that is defining what happens when x is between -2 and 2. And then we have yet a third piece that is defining what happens when x is greater than 2. So essentially, we are defining our number line, or dividing our number line into three pieces. We have our piece that is defining what happens when we are at -2 inclusive or below. We have our piece that tells what happens if we are at -2 not inclusive up to 2 inclusive. So between those, not including -2, but including 2. And then our third piece that defines what happens if we are at 2 not inclusive and above. So when we go to evaluate some of our piecewise expressions, we need to figure out which piece of our function are we working with. So h of -4. -4 is about here on the number line, which means I'm going to be using this piece because -4 is less than or equal to -2. So -4 is my input. That means I replace all the x's with -4. So -4 plus 8 is equal to 4. h of -2. -2 is right here. It is actually one of my breaking points. So -2 is included by this equal to symbol, again, in my top piece. So I'm going to use x plus 8 here. So replacing all my x's with -2. -2 plus 8 is 6. So h of -2 is 6. Next, looking at h of 0. 0 falls about here on my number line, so that is in that middle piece, 0 between -2 and 2. So I'm going to use the definition x squared here and get that 0 squared is 0. So h of 0 is 0. Next, looking at h of 2. 2 is, again, one of my breaking points. It is included in my middle definition. So I'm going to use x squared to define this. So 2 squared gives me 4. So h of 2 is 4. Next, h of 4. 4 falls about here on my number line. So that is greater than 2. That is being defined by my third piece in my piecewise function. There are no inputs to replace with 4, so my y value is simply -3. For h of 7, 7 would fall about here on my number line. So once again, I'm using my third piece. So there are no inputs to replace with 7, so my y value is simply -3. So when you're evaluating piecewise functions, first determine which piece your x value falls into, and then just use that piece's definition. Looking next at graphing this piecewise function, we are going to do this one piece at a time. So using the definition x plus 8 for my piece that is x less than or equal to -2, I'm going to start at -2 and graph to the left using the definition x plus 8. So at -2, we found that -2 plus 8 was 6. So I have a solid dot here at -2, +6. Using that this is a linear function with a slope of 1, I can go down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. and so on to continue my picture. So just connecting through those and extending to the left. There's my first piece, x plus 8 for x less than or equal to -2. Now for my middle piece, I want to graph between -2 and 2, the graph of x squared. On the left-hand side of that, I'm going to have an open circle because I have a strictly less than. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to have a closed circle because of this equal to. So plugging in -2 just to see where my open circle would be, -2 squared is 4. So at -2, +4, I would have an open circle. Going ahead and grabbing my right-hand side, plugging in +2, 2 squared is 4. So at 2, I would have a closed circle. In between those, I want to graph the graph of x squared. So that would give me a point -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1. So I'll go ahead and connect there. So it will look something like this. And finally, to add in my right piece, go ahead and label this one. This is my middle piece. So for my right piece, beginning at x equals 2 with an open circle, since I have strictly greater than, I'm going to have the graph of -3, which I know is a horizontal line since that's my constant function. So at 2, -3, I have an open circle, and then I'm just going to continue with a horizontal line directly to the right. All right, guys, that does it for this video on piecewise functions. We'll catch you in a future one.